some white 1-ply cotton yarn, and then of course, as normal, my 0.9mm hook, because that's kind of what I use. And we'll start off by making the face. So all I'll do here is just wrap the yarn, make a magic ring, just like this. And then from here I'm going to make 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So here's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, and number 6. So you can see we have 6 in a magic ring right now. So from here what I'll do is I'll pull the yarn tail, pull it as best as I can, and then I will come into the very first stitch. I've just got to find it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's over here. And then once I'm in there, what I'm going to do is just directly make a an increase. Hey, Marie, how are you? Yeah, it has been a long time no see. I'm so glad you're here. So we're trying to make these Hello Kitty earrings today. We'll see how we go. I made these yesterday and I thought they looked super cute, so I thought I'd do a live of it. So I've just made 6 single crochet stitches in a magic ring, and now what I'll do is an increase 6 times. So I'll start here and do the first increase, so 1, then I'll come back inside that same stitch, make the second, so that's the first increase. Now I have to continue on to make 6 increases, so 1, 2, that's finishing the second. You can see it's so tiny. 1, 2, so that's the third. Once I finish that right there. Oops, just got to get my yarn. So that's the third. Then number 4 will come in here. So 1, 2. The 5th increase will be in this stitch. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet stitches, and finally the 6th increase will be right here. So 1 single crochet stitch and the second. So there we go. We've just made 6 increases here. They're so adorable. Can't wait to see the final product. Thank you so much, Mary. You're awesome. Okay, so in this next round, this is round 3. This is where I'm going to be doing a single crochet stitch and an increase, alternated 6 times. So here, let's start. Single crochet in the next stitch. We'll have, oh, it's a little tight, but we still got it. We'll have the increase here. So again, this is the first increase of the round. Then we alternate. So we've got single crochet stitch and an increase. This will be the second increase now. Then a single crochet stitch and the third increase over here. 1, 2. So again, a single crochet stitch and the 4th increase right here. So here's the 4th increase. 1, 2. Then we have the 5th single crochet stitch and now the 5th increase. 1, 2. And finally the 6th, number 6 single crochet stitch and also the 6th increase, and we'll finish up in that 6th increase right there. So that's our third round now finished. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of copy and paste here. I'm from Pakistan. Hello, Zulfikar. How are you today? Nice that you're tuning in from Pakistan. It's awesome. Reply. Yeah, just did. Okay, so at this point, we're going to be doing 5 rounds now. So 5 rounds of just 18 single crochet stitches, because I have now 18 stitches in the round. We started with 6, we moved up to 12, now we're on to 18. And since we're on to 18, we're going to keep 18, maintain that for 5 whole rounds. So 5 whole rounds, we need to start here, and I will be counting a little bit so I can make sure I'm keeping on track with those 18. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, It was so weird in yesterday's live because I couldn't see anyone writing in the chat. 6, 7, 8, number 9, halfway, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so that's one round done. One round done. Who have we got here in the chat? Creamy Moon X. This seems like another moon. I don't know. There's another Moonstar. Moonstar. It's very close to Moonstar. He's normally in my chat. Oh gosh, we've got so many people here. Okay, let me reply to you guys. Is that disgusting? Is what disgusting, Ksenia? Aaron, hey Aaron. Hey Alfie. Don't say hi to me. Okay. Hey Alfie, how are you? Close. Great lesson, thank you. We've just begun. I just noticed the background purple budgie. Yeah, we have a purple budgie. I've actually made oh, I have to find it over here. I have so many earrings now. We're almost up to 50. Let's see. Oh, that looks big. Sorry, I'm just like looking at my earring. Oh gosh, I can't find where I put the bird. But if you want to see it, so like I've still got the wings to make. I've got the beak to put in. Oh no, I don't have the wings. The wings are here. There's one. Okay, here. The other side I've got to put the wing on. And then the little beak over here. And then she is done, the little budgie. So we've got some blue and purple or lavender ones to do. Hey Creamy Moon, how are you? Alfie, I've got to remember your name's Alfie. Aoife, don't know what that means. Fatima, love y'all. Hello. I love it, so cute, OMG. Oh, I love that you love it. Okay, so before I move on, so I'll do one round and then I'll read the chats, but that's essentially what we're doing here. So we're making Hello Kitty earrings. As you can see here, I'm gonna try and teach you or talk my way through it so you guys can make these as well. And I'll try and make a tutorial, an actual tutorial video of this too. And then I can show you my earrings that I've made so far, and then yeah, we can just see everything together. So here we go. Second round of 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, halfway, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So that's the second round of 18. We have 5 of these, and you can see it's kind of turning inside out. So I'm going to direct it the right way. There we go. So we've got OMG, that's so cool. Thank you so much, Belle. And you said you 50 earrings. You're doing so well. Thank you so much. I think I'm up to, well, shall I count it? Hold on, let me put it here. Duck ones. 1, 2. They're not in order, so here's 3 heart. 4. Hold on, I'll put them, where should I put them? So 4 over here. Then we've got sunflowers, 5, another heart, 6, another chicken, 7. There's so many, oh my gosh. So that's 7. We have cinnamon, 8, 9, another heart, 10, another cinnamon, 11. Then we have tulips, 12, 13, 14. We have bees, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, oh gosh, that's 24 so far, 25 for that Hello Kitty, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And then we have 31, these little granny square ones, 32, here's the birds, 33, 34, and 35. Okay, so we got 35, which means I've got 15 more to make. 15 more to make, so I can finish my 15, then I can start selling them on eBay. Although I'm going to be in the Philippines for a little while from Feb, so I don't know if I should start selling them straight away, because obviously I can't ship from Australia, which is where I am now, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But yeah, the aim is to get 50 and then I'll start selling them. And then over here, so what did I say I had? 35, right? 35. Then I have these Luffy ones. So this is Luffy. I still got the other one to make. I think I've made him somewhere. I've just misplaced him, but I've got to make a second pair of that. So that will be 36. And then I'll have this be 37 once done, 38, 39, 40, 41, then the blue will be 42, then Cinnamoroll, I've got to make him 43, and then I'm making Hello Kitty now, so that will be 44, and then I have another Hello Kitty, which will be 45, so I'm very close, but still, this still takes time, but we're getting there. You absolutely adore the bird-related earrings. Oh, I love that. What size hook do you use or prefer? For micro crochet, I've been using a 0.9mm hook at the moment. Oh, I just saw Marie's you're screaming with the typing of the computer. That's so funny. I love that. Yeah, 0.9mm hook for micro crochet. Where I've been using 1-ply cotton yarn as well to make my little earrings. When it comes to normal things, like for instance, let's say this rabbit, the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, I used a 1.9mm hook and 4-ply cotton yarn. But you can use, and this is my 4-ply cotton yarn. I just use the milk cotton. I got these from the Philippines, but you should be able to get them wherever you are. It's just 4-ply cotton yarn, milk cotton, and yeah, you can use anywhere up to a 3mm hook for that, I would say, but I use 1.9mm. Anyways, so you can make little things like this, and I've made so many different characters like this as well. Also, if you haven't seen already, I have started and almost finished this guy from Demon Slayer, because his name's Zenitsu, so I'm still doing all these white little things. I think this is the part that takes the most time, because you don't want it to be so obvious underneath here. So I'm trying to like weave the white in, but it's not that bad. But anyway, it takes a long time to make these little triangles on him. Then I've got to put the head together, a few little details like the buttons, the belt buckle, that I've got to do as well. Yeah, Zenitsu, that's the one. So we did the hair as a live, and we just made it, going into this yellow orange, which I think worked out perfectly. And then I have to write the pattern for this guy and upload that to Etsy. All my patterns are on Etsy, by the way. So if you ever wanted to buy a pattern from my Etsy store, go check that out. It's just mnashthreads.etsy.com. That's all it is. Then I had Cinderella, and this is a Cinderella. Obviously, this is my own pattern and design. But the reason I'm showing you this Cinderella here is because I made the mini version of her with micro crochet. And I wanted to kind of make this into an earring. Obviously, it would be a little bigger for an earring. Not really, though. Like, people wear big hoop earrings, so I don't think this would be too much trouble. But I've got to make the second one of her, and then she would be an earring. So that's what she looks like, with her little bun and ponytail and little body under here. But yeah, that's Cinderella. Yeah, someone also mentioned it could be a pendant as well. which is definitely a nice idea. I'm just not sure because like I'm just thinking because if it is on someone's shirt, like could it get squished? I guess it wouldn't mind because they could just fluff it out again, I guess. I don't know. It could be a keychain. Yes, she could definitely be a keychain, although I wouldn't recommend. Um, the only reason I wouldn't recommend a keychain is because when it's a keychain, you've got it lying around all the time exposed to all the elements, right? And then she'd probably get dirty quite quickly. Whereas if it's earrings, you're kind of wearing them here, there, or a necklace or a pendant here and there, so it wouldn't get destroyed super fast. But yeah, that's what I'm just thinking. Mallory, hey Mallory. Yes, keychains can be treated tougher, exactly. And I just don't think people would want to ruin this too quickly. It is cotton, so like it's yeah, it gets exposed to those normal elements. It's not resistant to them. I've been using a 0.75 for micro beaded crochet recently. Hey, that's perfect. That I could even use the 0.75 as well. Like there's not much difference between the zero point 0.9, 0.75, so that's perfect for micro crochet. You think Zenitsu is new? Oh, I hope so. That would be great. Maybe one of my patterns will actually do well. I think I've made over like 120 different crochet patterns and I've had some success, but not really. So I don't know. I'm just trying to get something that that will do well. What else we got here? Hey, remember me, Henry? Yes, I do. I very much remember you. I remember that picture. How are you doing, Henry? Wait, were you the one who had soccer and liked all those sports? I can't remember if that was you, Henry. But anyways, okay, let's get back into making Hello Kitty before I run on a tangent and digress to something else. Ah, you are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. How was your what practice did you have? That you were talking about snowboarding and oh, what else? Basketball, football, all of those things that you're doing. Do you have crochet ideas for me? Tons. I have tons of crochet ideas for you. And all you need to do is check out my videos and you'll see a bunch of tutorials there. Pick anything that you like and I show you how to do it. So we've got ranging from very easy things like tulips, roses, bookmarks, all the way to actually characters. I'm going to be doing a tutorial soon of Spider-Man, that you know the hanging upside down Spider-Man. Obviously that's not my idea. I've seen it around for a while, but the pattern I created is my own, so I'll make a tutorial of that as well. But yeah, go check out my stuff. I'm sure you'll enjoy it and I hope you learn stuff. And if you don't know how to crochet as well, I've got some tutorial videos on beginner crochet lessons, so you'll be able to get some tips and things from that, which hopefully will be able to help you a lot. So I hope you'll be able to find lots of stuff. All right, I've got to get to the next round. So let me do 18 for the third round. So that's one. This is the head, by the way, that we're working on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so that's finished the third round of 18. What am I doing? I'm making these Hello Kitty earrings. That's what I'm doing right now. So these Hello Kitty earrings, that's what I'm doing. I'm also thinking um of doing like if any of you have seen Mufasa, I want to do like Taka and Mufasa side by side as when they were cubs as earrings. It would be so cute. I just don't know how to do that exactly yet, but I'll think about it. Okay, let me do number 4 round. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and we're running out of yarn. 14, 15, 16, 17. Here I think I'll change my yarn because look, we've only got this much left. So I definitely need yarn right now. So I'll grab it from here. This is the same, it should be, as long as I remember correctly, it should be cut from the same thread of cotton. So that was 18, right? So we got one more round to go of 18 because we wanted 5 rounds of 18. I'm just going to weave in those tails behind it. So, oops, 1, 2, 3. I'll just maybe weave it in once more. 4, and now I don't have to worry about those tails. So let's get up to 18. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so we finished 5th round. I will cut all of this because we don't need all of these tails and we've weaved them in. Who have we got here? I didn't mean to say here. Let's see. Okay, so we've got we have, what are you doing? I answered that one. Then you got Slay from Scarlett. Hi from Mia. Hey everyone. Okay. Scarlett, you're saying hair. I mean hi. That's what I meant. Didn't meant to say hair. What's she making? Again, we're making these Hello Kitty earrings. Very beautiful. Hey, average dandy lover. 18, 19. Yeah, we didn't get to 19 though. We just went to 18. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to make, we have to start decreasing this. So we've got 5 now in the round, which is exactly what we want, but now I've got to start decreasing. So if I just do a single crochet stitch and then I decrease in my next one, this is exactly what we want. So by decreasing, I'm going into the front loops of the 2 adjacent stitches. So here I'm doing a single crochet stitch, and then every other will be a decrease. So for example, here's the decrease, front loop, adjacent stitch, front loop, pull the yarn through, pull the yarn through. So that's my second decrease there. Then a single crochet stitch, and this one will be my third decrease. Then single crochet stitch, and here is my 4th decrease. So we want a total of 6 decreases. So single crochet stitch and 5th decrease, and you want to keep those decrease stitches quite tight. And finally there's the 6th single crochet stitch, and now number 6 decrease, as you can see there. So we finished now 6 decreases mixed with a single crochet stitch in between. I love how you guys are counting up to 20, but hey, we only did up to 18. Okay, so now what I need to do is add fiber filling. And this here is just from a pillow, a cushion. You can buy this online. You don't need much of it, especially for micro crochet. I think that's the beauty of micro crochet. Probably one of the perks to it is that you can use such a small amount of fiber filling, or you can also call this stuffing. So it's kind of just like stuffing a turkey if you've ever done that. I'm going to use a pair of cutters here so I can try to condense the fiber filling that goes inside, because I really want to make it like what's the word, just condensed. I don't know another word for it. So yeah, I'm coming in here and pushing it all together. And yeah, making this really tight inside, packed really tightly, because we don't really want to have a very flexible head. We want to have this nice and tight. And that's why I use this pair of cutters, because it really tries to push all of that fiber filling into one another and clears all the spaces. And so that's what we want. Barely any spaces so that it can't breathe. Sound like I'm choking and stabbing this cat, but it's just the technique. Okay, so I'm liking this. It looks good. You see I'm continuing to like push the cutter in so I can really make it condensed as much as possible. Now I'm going to put in my age is 32. AI Music Galaxy. Hello, how are you? And I think you were asking age for the 18, 19, 20. No, I was counting stitches, and I started from 1 went all the way to 18, and then people kept going. We are making Hello Kitty earrings. What is she doing? There you go. Hello Kitty earrings, that's what we're making right now. I should put them here so you guys can refer to it. And that way you can always see it. So let's move you. They're the same age. Aww. Yay. That's awesome. I turned 32 in November of last year. Okay, let's go. Let's continue. Let us continue. Okay, so, oh, jeez. That didn't work well. So I got to do that decrease again because I just pulled it all apart. Whoopsie daisies. That happens though. Never expect perfection with crochet. Like, but the finishing touch can be perfection. It's just whilst you're going through it, you can have all these little things that happen. You just got to be careful with your hook and how tightly you put everything. Okay, so what I want to do in this very last round is do 6 decreases. I'm going to probably only do 5 because, well, I'll tell you why in a moment once we get there. So let's see how it looks. So here's my first decrease. So that's 1. Here's the second. Boom. Then I'm going to have number 3 over here. Decrease. That's number 3. And I'm basically repeating this to myself so I can also remember what I'm up to. So this one is number 4. And then coming up is number 5. 5 is right here. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm only going to do 5. And it's because if you can see this circle right here, I don't want to make that too small, because if it's too small, then when I start sewing it together, it's going to create this bump that I can't get rid of. So I have a size that I like to deal with, and in just the very next stitch, I'll do a quick slip stitch just to finish that off, and then I'll pull the yarn through as much as I need to be able to do that sewing. So maybe like about this much. Pull this back out because I don't need this side anymore. As you can see, I've got my little circle in the middle there. I've done 5 decreases and not 6. You would be inclined to do 6 just because it fits with the number, right? That's how we started. We did 6 single crochet stitches in a magic ring, then we increased to 12. So we went down from 18 to 12, and it would be natural to think we're going to 6, and I usually do with bigger projects. But for this micro crochet thing, I don't want this circle to be too small, so I just do 1 less of a decrease. And now what I'm going to do is I've got my needle here, and I'm going to weave the yarn tail through each of the front loops of my remaining stitches. So if I did 6 decreases, there would be 6 front loops to go through, but because I only did 5, there should be, I believe, 8, 6, 7, I think there's either 7 or 8 to go through. In any case, you just go through all those front loops, and you'll see what we do right at the end of going through all these front loops. So we're here now, we're at the end of the front loops, and I'm going to pull this tail a little bit, just a little bit, not too tightly either. You want to make sure you don't snap your cotton, and cotton is quite fragile, so you do need to be careful. Like there's enough here, it's quite strong, but you just you're stronger than one ply cotton yarn, obviously. So now what I'm going to do is once I've pulled it, I'm going to push my needle into the very center and come out at any other place, doesn't matter where, because it's just all white yarn. And then I'm just going to pull it a little bit at the end there. And you can see there's no bumps, there's nothing here, and that's exactly what I want, no bumps. And if I maybe did 6 decreases, I may have like a slight bump. So that's the reason why I only did 5. And I'm just going to weave this around one more time, like just go somewhere else, poke my needle somewhere else, come out at a different place, and that will really ensure that this is not going to come apart. And I've got the head exactly the way that I want it. So there we go, and I'm just pushing in the yarn tail there to get rid of it. Okay, so there is my head. That's my head right here, as you can see. And now what we should do is create the ears. Now I'll probably only do one. Oh, let's see how we're going for time. What are we doing? We're on 31 minutes. Yeah, let's make the ears. Why not? It shouldn't take that long. The ears are actually quite quick. All it is just you're working with 4 in a magic ring and then increase to 6, then increase to 9. So it can be a little bit delicate and tricky with the fingers, especially with such small or thin yarn. So you just have to be careful with that. That's all I would say. So let's see what we do, and we can do this together. So you can see how I sort of manage it as best as I can. And mind you, I don't get this perfect every single time either. So let's just hope for the best, and I'll give you some tips along the way. So we're making a magic ring, right? So we start the magic ring as normal, just as we normally do. And now here's the first tip. Because we're only going to be doing 4 in a magic ring, which is one of my worst nightmares, having 4 in a magic ring, we're going to try and make the first couple of stitches a little bit looser than how we would normally have, and that will make it easier for us to get into those first stitches when we're completing in a spiral. So let's try this. 4 single crochet stitches in a magic ring. So see how I'm making it quite loose here? It's up, like usually it would be down here, but I'm making it a little bit loose. So there's 1, and I'll make this one a little bit loose too. 2, this one as well, 3, and this one as well, number 4. So never make those first 4 stitches tight. Now I'm going to pull the yarn tail from my magic ring. And you can see we have 4, well, you might not be able to see, it's very tiny, but we do have 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochet stitches here. Now, usually when you finish a round for beginners, they might do a slip stitch and a chain one. For me, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to continue to crochet in a spiral. So what I will do is try to get my hook into that very first stitch over here. And even with it being such a loose stitch, I also am having a little bit of trouble, but we got into it there. And what we'll do is we'll now do a single crochet stitch. So I'll bring out the yarn, do a single crochet stitch, and then I'll come into my very next stitch over here. At least I think that's the very next one. And I'll make an increase. Wait, I've just got to check that that's right. Yes. So I'll make an increase here. Just want to get all the yarn. That's why I keep going back out and in, because sometimes I'm not catching all of the yarn. So here's the increase. 1, come back inside it, and number 2. Then in the very next stitch, I'll just do a single crochet stitch again. And in the final stitch over here, I'm going to do or make another increase. So I should technically now have 6 single crochet stitches for my second round. And now what I will try and do is use my hook to turn it the right way around. You might even find that your piece starts to curving inside out, and you don't want to continue crocheting, especially after the second round, when your piece has started to curve the opposite way. So make sure you help to make your piece the right way, wherever it should be. And now what we're going to do, this should be fairly simple now because we have 6 single crochet stitches in the round, so 6 is not too bad, 4 is like the worst, but once you get past 4 you're fine. So here what we're going to do is mix it up with single crochet, then in the very next one we'll do an increase, and then we will repeat that another 2 times. So in total you will repeat that pattern 3 times so that you have 9 single crochet stitches in the round once you finish. So that's my single crochet stitch. Then over here is where I'm going to have an increase, another increase, 1, 2, and finally we'll finish with another single crochet stitch, and last but and least, because we're finishing, we'll finish on an increase. There we go. And now just to finish this off, you can also do a slip stitch, make a slip stitch in the very next stitch that kind of levels it all out as well, especially because you're crocheting in the round. And then you'll just pull the yarn through, give yourself a reasonable yarn tail. I usually like to give myself about maybe 15 centimeters for the ears. That's obviously way over what I will need, but I like to have excess rather than not enough. So there we go, there is one ear. There we go. Oh, I'm getting nervous now that, are you guys writing in the chat? Someone say hello, because what happened yesterday was, oh yes, okay, good. There was something that happened yesterday where people were writing in the chat and I didn't see anything, and I was just thinking there was no one here, but you guys are here. And hello, Shanzaid. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming. Okay, so made that one ear, at least the chat's working. And now let's do the second ear, may as well, because why not? We've got 2 ears to make. So let's make this second ear. So magic ring, kind of burping over here, sorry. Okay, so we've got the magic ring. Then again, make yourself some loose, 4 loose, relatively loose stitches. You don't want them too loose either, that's why I said relatively loose. Here's number 3 and here's number 4. Then we're going to pull the yarn tail. Don't pull that yarn tail too tightly because you will snap it. It's only 1 ply cotton yarn here. Same if you had a thread or whatever you're working with. Just got to be careful, get that tension right. It might take a few times to learn how to do it, but you do get used to it. You get the muscle memory. So have no fear. So there's 1 increase, then we'll do a single crochet stitch here, then another increase over here, 1, 2, and then finish off with just a regular single crochet stitch. So that's the second round. So now I have 6, and what I will do at this point, as I mentioned before, you're going to try and push the ear so that it comes the right way, because you want to continue, especially after that second round. Second round is kind of that cutoff for trying to get it the right way around, especially when you started with such a small amount of stitches in your magic ring. So just always be wary of that. And now here, this is fairly simple now. All I'm going to be doing is, if I can find the stitch, whoops. Sometimes the stitches kind of like blend into each other and I can't actually see it. So I got single crochet, then, hope I'm not out of frame there, then an increase, so that's the first increase, and we want to repeat that another 2 times. Single crochet stitch, and then another increase over here, and let's just finish with 1 more round of the single crochet stitch, then the increase, increase goes right here. This is my last increase to make. And then the very next stitch, I'm going to make a slip stitch. Boom, and then I will pull the yarn, cut my yarn, give myself about 15 centimeters of a yarn tail, because I'll be using this to do some sewing. Again, sewing is not difficult, it just takes a little bit of practice, but you guys will easily be able to do sewing. I know people hate sewing, but I really don't mind. There's a lot of like no-sew projects that people seem to really enjoy, and it takes off. Obviously, people don't like the sewing part of crochet, but really for me, I 100% don't mind it. I did find it difficult at the beginning, like last year, but once you practice and practice, it's a lot easier. Okay, there we go. We finished our white, everything in white. We're done. WhatsApp number. Hello, not my mom. Wait, what? What's going on here? Our people WhatsApp number. Oh, you're just looking for WhatsApp numbers. Oh dear, makes my fingers hurt just watching. Yeah, hey Pug Mom. Yeah, it can hurt. Even like the tension of the yarn over here, but I get that normally anyway for cotton yarn. But yeah, it doesn't hurt. You get used to it, but yeah, it can be tough. It can definitely be tough. I do want to say that. Okay, now what I want is to make a bow, right? The bow in the hair. Not in the hair. Hello Kitty doesn't really have hair, but you know what I mean. The bow that's next to the ear. So what we're going to do is, here, let's do it together. So I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a yarn tail. I'm going to wrap and make a magic ring as normal. So nothing has changed here. We've always started with a magic ring. And now this is the part where we have a look to see how we make this bow. So I'm going to chain one. I don't need to chain one, but I will anyway. And I'm going to make a half double crochet. It was probably better if I didn't chain one because it's a little bit more difficult to get inside that half double crochet. So we'll make a total of 4 half double crochet stitches. So that's 2. Here's number 3. And here's number 4. Then I'm going to separate this with a slip stitch. So 4 half double crochet stitches, then a slip stitch. Now I'll chain one because I chained one before, so I want to keep it consistent. If I didn't chain one, then I wouldn't chain one. And here I'm going to do another 4 half double crochet stitches. So this is number 2, 3, and 4. And now I'll finish with a slip stitch inside that magic ring. And I can pull out all of this. That's a pre-cut piece of thread, and I'm going to pull this over here, and this is my yarn tail, the yarn tail that I had from that magic ring. Remember how I said leave a little bit, maybe like 10 to 15 centimeters before you start crocheting. So I'm just pulling it, but not too tight because you don't want it to snap. And then with the opposite yarn tail that you use to cut, we're going to wrap in the center of the bow, maybe like once, twice, do it nice and tight, 3, 4 times. 4 times is probably enough. And then over here at the bottom, I'm just going to tie it in a quick single knot. You can do double, single, up to you. Just move this away. I'll do it a single for now just because I can see that the knot is coming close to the top here, which is not exactly where I want it. So I will finish this properly later. I just want to make sure that the wrapped portion in the middle here doesn't come undone. So that's why I did a quick little tie. And the rest is where I'm going to wrap it onto the head once I've sewed on the ears. So can you see that bow? There's the bow there. What am I making? I'm making a Hello Kitty earrings. So Hello Kitty earrings are right here. I'm gonna make these. Shazib, no one's gonna give you their WhatsApp number. Sorry. But yeah, anyway, here's the bow. And now it's all time to do sewing, the best part. Sorry if I've offended anyone there, but hey, we gotta just get used to sewing. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. Everyone can do this. I 100% have faith in all you guys. All it is just it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, a little bit of patience. Once you get there, you're going to be so glad that you did. So this ear is going to go at the top here to the side. So I'm going to start by having it roughly in the middle here, and I'm just going to go through a stitch, just like that. Then I'm going to go through 2 stitches at a time, so in the ear. So here is going to be the first one. The first one's probably, it's not too tricky, you just got to know where to put that needle. And I would recommend for micro crochet to have a really sharp needle. Just don't poke yourself. But for micro crochet, you really need that point where it's super sharp, and it just makes it easy to get into each of those thread pieces, and you don't end up struggling a ton. Now I'm gonna go underneath here. I can't see it that well because it's so far away from my eyes, and usually when I sew I'm a little bit closer. I bring it closer to my eyes. The light's just in the wrong spot for me, so I can't really see where my needle's going, but we're gonna make it the best we can. Where do we want to come out? Okay, maybe I do need to bring it closer to my eye because I can't see it. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe I have to go through 1 stitch at a time. There we go. You can see that now. Having it upside down does help. And that will go there. Pull that through. And now I'll go into my next stitch, which will be over here in the head. That will work itself out. Now I'm going into the third. Remember we had 9, so we should be able to go through the ears about 4 times. Pull that through. You might need a pair of pliers or something if that helps you guys. And finally, can we get one right at the top here? Up here should be good. Boom, and we'll go through that last stitch. Sometimes I find that when you're doing this under a camera, it's just very different to how you would normally do it. Like nothing's changed in my technique, it's just I found that a little bit more difficult than what I'm used to. And again, I think sometimes it's all about the positioning as well of the hands, where your eyes are, just trying to see it. I think it makes a very big difference. But in any case, we have the first ear on my piece, so that's the first ear. And I'll just leave that right there because I don't need that anymore, and we'll use that at the end. Anyone written in the chats what have we got? Nope, no one's written. I hope my chat is still working though. And here is going to be the next ear that we're going to make. And when I say make, I mean sew. We're going to sew it onto our little kitten, our Hello Kitty. And we'll do it in the same way, just the opposite. So I had one here, so I'm going to start right here, right on the opposite side. And, well, I'll try my best to keep it consistent. Come inside here. Then I'll come down the line over here. Boom. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet. I am focusing very hard. My brain is overloaded right now. Trying to do my best with the sewing. There's number 2. And then I will come over here. Do I want it there? Probably not. So maybe over here. This will be number 3. Because remember, we want 4 in total. Come here, pull it, pull, pull, pull. And then finally, come maybe over here. Maybe not there. trying to get the right places. Maybe about there. And push my yarn over here. And then I'll just poke it somewhere else. Just to finish that off. So there's my Hello Kitty ears. Right there. And at this point, what I will do is work in my needle here, and then I will come out over here. Just like that. And since I'm in the same stitch space now with these 2 yarn tails, I'm going to tie a double knot at this point. And that's really the most sewing that you'll need to do for this Hello Kitty. It's just those ears, really. Once you got the ears, everything is kind of neat sailing from here. You will have to sew the bow, but that's not tricky at all. So it's just really those ears, and you just go through the front and back stitches, so it's not too difficult once you get a hang of it. Hey Mira, how are you today? Okay, so there's my Hello Kitty ears. Now, shall we sew the bow? I think so. Let's do the bow. So what I'll do is I'll separate these. I'm gonna go through one at a time. So you see I have 2 yarn tails for this bow, but I'm going to put it into my Hello Kitty separately. So the first one is going to be fairly straightforward. I'm just going to find a place that's very close to the ear and then come out behind it. Very easy. The first one is very easy. I'll take the needle out. I'll put the yarn thread in my needle for the second yarn tail. So remember, this was the second yarn tail here. And we'll do this a little differently with the second yarn tail. Once it's in my needle, there we go. So for this one, what I want to be doing is I'm going to go inside that same stitch space over there, but I'm going to come out 1 stitch space before it, or after it, wherever your needle is placed there. Ooh, actually, that might not be a great spot. I'm going to go back, because look, it's quite far away from the bow. So what I might do is come over here instead. And now I'm going to wrap around here and go into that very first space and come out again at the second space. And this will help me tie it. I'm just going to make sure it's in the middle. Tie that bow firmly in place. Once I pull it. So very firmly in place. You got to pull it Make sure it's nice and tight there. And by the way, this is not the only way that you can do this. There's many other ways. So I don't want you thinking, oh, your way is way too hard. No, there's so many other ways. I'm just showing you one way. One way of doing this. And then I'm going to put my needle in the back here. And I'll put this over the top of that bow. So again, it's really securing it in place. As you can see, the bow is nice and secured now. As long as I tie these two yarn tails at the end, which have come out in the same stitch, and that's what you want. You always want the two yarn tails to be in the same stitch space when you're doing your double knot. Because if they're not, then when you try to put the yarn back inside the body, if they're in two different places, this yarn's not going to fall inside the body, right? Because it's going to be tied across a couple of stitches, which is not what you want. So if you have it in the same stitch, then once you push the yarn back inside the body, it should just disappear, which mine is having a bit of trouble disappearing. It takes a little bit of time. Got my needle in. Oh, you know what I've probably done. This is the best way of showing you what not to do. Because my needle's so sharp, I probably caught a thread in there somewhere. But I can easily hide this. Here's another trick. Instead of taking this all, oh, no, I had no issue. But here's another thing you can do. If you did have it caught amongst a thread or something like that, and you're just seeing a little bit of pink, grab some white yarn, come up here and just go over it, so you kind of hide it. So that's just a little trick that you can do. I don't do that very often, maybe like once in a blue moon, if I really don't want to undo what I've done. But here, now you can see we've got the bow nice and neatly with my ears. And now all that's left to do is create the face, and then we're finished our Hello Kitty. Seems like you guys are getting a bit bored as well, but that's okay. It is what it is. So at this point, we're going to create the eyes. So let's do this as best as we can, because from here we're going to do the eyes and the whiskers. If any of you have ever made Hello Kitty before, you'll know what we're doing. If not, come watch me here, so we'll be able to do this together. So I'm going to put one pair of eyes, or one eye over here. I'm just going to go down in the stitch below it, and then have my needle work its way back into the place where my yarn was originally. Pull off the fluffs as best as you can, and I'll just keep weaving in and out of those two stitch spaces, maybe a total of 3 to 4 times, just to create the desired thickness that you want for a pair of Hello Kitty eyes. So that's number 3. So I think 3 is enough there. Now I've got to find where I want the other eye, and I'll probably put it over here. There we go. So there's one eye, as you can see, one eye right there. Now we'll do the second eye over here. So I'm going down in the stitch space below it as normal, come out. So that's once. Do this a couple of times, 3 to 4 times. I think I'll do it 4 times. Twice. You just want to make it look even as best as you can. 3 times. Oh, you saw what happened there, right? It just kind of zoomed off. And that's because it got trapped with a little bit of a knot somewhere. So I'm going to try and, oh, there's the knot. Oh, goodness. Why is that there? This is not what we want. It was never here before. I don't know how this came about. I don't like knots. Move this pink away so we don't get it. And the thing is, I don't want to cut this. This is like one of my second worst nightmares is just random knots forming for no good reason. And it turning your project into a mess. There we go. It was just a random knot. Thank goodness we got it out. I'm usually not really a person who has a lot of patience with knots. Let me tell you. It's one of the worst things to deal with. Okay, so now we're going to create the whiskers. No one's written in the chat yet? No problemo. So to create the whiskers, I'm going to start over here. So it's one stitch space after the eye. One stitch space after the eye, and we're just going to go up a little bit. So maybe here, so we have it like a little bit diagonal. Then I'll come into the stitch space below. So the first one you want as a diagonal, the second one you want just straight, and the third one against one stitch space below. The third whisker you want as another diagonal, so it would just go across one. So here, if I made it straight, I would come here, but I want to go below by one. And then we'll do the same to the other side. So start up here, make it mirror image, opposing each other. If I wanted to, I could have probably put the eyes closer together, but really there's no exact way of doing this. So you guys, whatever you decide to do in terms of the face is more than up to you. There's no one way of doing this. Remember that with embroidery and things like that. There's never any one way. Everyone has their own techniques. I can show you what I do and you can follow that as kind of like something that helps you. But then you can create your own style, right? Okay, and then I'm coming back here. This is where I entered into the first stitch space originally, and then I will just make a beautiful double knot. So there's one, and here is my second double knot, two. Now I can cut the yarn. Nice. Cut that yarn, remove the yarn from the needle, come in here, and wave it around so it doesn't get caught in there. Squish it down a little because Hello Kitty's face is quite horizontal rather than vertical. So that's why I like to squish it down a little bit. And now we are left with one more thing, and that is Hello Kitty's nose. And I think we can do that with about this much of the yellow yarn. Still no one in the chat. I hope my chat's working still. Guys, someone write hi in the chat just to let me know that the chat's still working, because I had an issue with my chat yesterday and it felt like no one was writing anything, but they actually were, and I just couldn't see anything. So if someone could write hi. Oh, thank you. Okay, it is working. Hey, it's Nora. Good. Yay, final bust. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for letting me know what's working. You guys are awesome. Okay, finally, let's make this nose, and then we are good. And you guys can make your very own Hello Kitty earrings if you ever wanted to. So here's my needle, and I'm gonna come out between the eye. So I'm on the last level of the eye. So I could put it down here, but I think it will look better up here. So again, the lower level of that eye is where I'm gonna pull out my needle, and then I'm gonna go right here. And then I will just keep weaving this needle maybe 3 times, I want to say. we'll see what it looks like after 3. So here's number 2. Yeah, 3 times is probably perfect. So after this 3rd time, I'm gonna put my needle back in the stitch space where this entered, so I can tie that together in the end. Pull that beautiful nose that we have there. Great, this is looking like Hello Kitty now. Now I will quickly do a double knot over here. Once and twice, just like that. Then I will grab a pair of cutters. Again, cut all of that off, take off the yarn from the needle, and push this into the body to hide it. Sometimes this does take a little bit of poking and prodding. Poking? Trying to say poking and prodding. Okay, so here we go. Here's the end result of our Hello Kitty earring. So it does look like Hello Kitty, huh? And ends up being like this. There we go, got its little pink bow at the top. And we just add the earring here, and then we're done. We've got to make the second one, obviously. I've got all of these parts here ready to make uh, 3 different Hello Kitties, so I'll get those together. And then by the time I finish that, we will have 3 sets or pairs of Hello Kitty earrings, which will be lovely. So anyways, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll try and have a tutorial video of this coming out very soon. I hope you enjoyed that, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for coming and watching, and I hope you've learned something. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like this live if you haven't already. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. See you later. Have a great day, evening, or whatever it is for you. Hope it's all good. Bye, guys.